All right, folks, this is kind of a tangential podcast. It's not really about money, but it kind of is, and I'll tell into that at the end. But I expect this to be of vast interest to most of our viewership. And you've probably seen, I've been trying, I am, a student of longevity technology. As Ricky Bobby said in Talladega Nights, I figure with my high level of income, modern technology, I ought to be able to get to about 140. And actually, that's a target age for me. So I spend a lot of time with healthcare professionals and studying technology and medications. I mean, I'm healthy, but this is really just to keep me going, keep me young and long-lived. So you're starting to see a deluge of commercials for Wegovy and Ozempic and a lot of these tirzepatide-based medications that really are transformative. And I think I've got, one of my docs is at Mayo, and I asked to get on this. He goes, "You're the first one in the whole Mayo system. We didn't even know, what this was." It was by buying Lilly Direct. So Ozempic is, this is a drug that's been around in various forms since the 1980s, and the application was for diabetes. It also has been shown in recent years to have remarkable weight control properties. I've been taking it for a couple of years, and I say it kind of just normalizes my appetite, to where, a lot of folks can eat whatever they want and they don't gain weight. They don't eat huge quantities of it, but it really has normalized my appetite, and my wife and partner Kim has been using it for a while too. But that's really just the beginning of the story. This is not about weight control. This is about longevity. And actually, this article, which I think was in Barron's, begins with, "Should Ozempic be added to the water supply?" Interesting. Why would they say that? Because Ozempic, this GLP-1 category of drugs, and there was a recent announcement, Lilly new drug that I'll talk about at the end, just in the Wall Street Journal this week, are showing promise for an ever-expanding list of diseases beyond weight loss and diabetes: heart, kidney, and liver diseases, sleep apnea, arthritis, Alzheimer's disease, alcohol addiction, even aging, which is my big interest. This trajectory continues. Doctors say millions of people would benefit from them, maybe even a third to a majority of adults. It's really big time. This is Mounjaro is one I didn't mention, along with Zepbound and Wegovy and Zepbound. One of the things that I really noticed, which is important, heart disease, as we learned on a podcast, or we discussed on a podcast a couple of weeks ago with Dr. Steele, is the leading killer around the world. Cholesterol and accretion of plaque in the arteries and high blood pressure, and then you blow up that system, there's nothing left, right? And a lot of the morbidity, the negative health effects of heart disease comes from inflammation, which is just, reddening and swelling and stuff of the tissues. And these drugs have remarkable anti-inflammatory properties. These guys, the super CFPs, probably aren't going to talk a whole lot about this. I mean, you have some questions, but this is not something that's on their typical study list. But it's really just amazing what these things seem to be able to do, and this promoting not only fitness, but feeling good, greater health and greater lifespan. It's also recently been found to be valuable in treating certain liver diseases, and particularly fatty liver. And according to the Barron's, 140 million American adults, more than half of the adult population, are eligible for treatment with these drugs, but only a fraction of those, and paid for by insurance. And that's something that's really, I think, starting to ease up. Other conditions like heart health and others, and significant obesity, will be covered. But I think that as the drugs become more popular, the costs come down, and the efficacy of the treatment for so many conditions increases. I think more and more you're going to find insurance companies caving and paying for this. And at the end of the day, it's really probably in their best interest, because you keep people healthier with, then you don't have huge bills at the end. So for the financial part that I promised you at the end, to reclaim the interest of the CFPs.
This is a doctor part in it, but here comes the CFP part.
I'm not that kind of doctor, Lou, but I'd be happy to examine you because you're my friend. You actually, I should have said that to you. You got to look at, as lifespans lengthen, as medical technology, those that avail themselves of it increases and people live longer, what does that do to your need for prudent wealth management? Getting good returns, avoiding big losses, conserving value, mapping out retirement to see actually what's coming. And a lot of people don't do this. Lou and Anna, you know this better than me because you're, in the trenches. But to properly plan retirement, the way we do it is you got to look at you as what's your likely life expectancy. Maybe now we need to extend it. How much cash do you have? What do you need to, to pay your bills and to do the things that you want? What are taxes from inflation? What, reasonable rates of return? And every year you've got to recalibrate that to look at, what's coming ahead. So when you do, tell me how important input is, Lou and Anna, when you do, a robust retirement projection plan on lifespan. How important is that if people live longer?
It's important. Then, if you live longer, obviously you need more money to support that, that longevity. So it's definitely something that we do in our planning and run simulation in terms of, asking questions, see what, and you never know kind of what's underneath someone's hood, so to speak, right? But but you ask what's longevity in the family? How long, do your parents live, grandparents? How long, what's your health situation? To kind of map that as closely as possible. But you'll never get it exactly right. But it's definitely important to answer your first question.
AW?
Yeah. Multiple things come to mind, right? You have, women that live longer, right? That's a big part of my conversations with clients. Typically women are living longer. So if, the wife is a younger spouse, then we have to plan for that, especially if she's going to be living into her 90s or 100s. We're also seeing, increases in dementia, Alzheimer's, different types of conditions as people live longer that will require more money later in life. So these are all things that, we have to plan for. And it's not just as easy as pinpointing an age, right? We have to talk about a lot of what ifs.
Yeah. So retirement planning done properly, and I tell you, the longer you live, you're stretching that money out a longer period of time. If you're gonna die in 2 years, you can live high on a hog. But if you're gonna live 30 years, you better be careful about what you spend and how your money is invested and how risk is controlled. To reduce the risk of running out of money and
inflation and all the other.
Mm-hmm. It's wicked complicated to do it right. Most people don't, and that's really the financial point. But please check out this drug. I think it's a wonder drug, and we're really just getting started. It was a press release or Wall Street Journal article this week that now showing incredible propensity to treat arthritis and a lot of arthritic pain, which obviously is a lot of folks when you get up there have this problem. And I just really think that medical technology, once stem cell cloning technology is figured out, and you can actually build replacement organs that are your DNA. It really gets pretty exciting. Anyway, I probably gushed on far too long, as I often do. Any final comments, Lou or Anna?
No, I think you summed it up pretty good.
Well, thank you for your patience with this mostly non-financial discussion. Until next time, folks, thank you so much for watching. We are your Wealth Doctor team. Jeff, Lou, and Anna. Bye-bye.